Welcome to Academy of Financial Training's video tutorials on financial modeling. In this session, we are going to begin with a blank Excel worksheet and prepare a template for the financial model. What we have here is a simple Excel workbook. Let's first of all remove the grid lines in this workbook. We are going to go to View tab and remove the grid lines. I'm using a shortcut, so Alt W and VG, which allows me to remove the grid lines. Now I am calling this sheet as template sheet, so renaming it as template. We are going to create different columns of different width and set our working area for the template. So I am first of all changing the widths of certain columns for our calculation. The first 4 columns we are going to set their width to 2 units. The shortcut is Alt HOW and setting the width as 2. For column E, where we are going to have the description of most of the line items, we are setting the width to 40. From column F to S onwards, which includes some historical years and a few forecasted years, almost 10 forecasted years, we are going to set the width to 10. And finally, for column T, we are going to set the width to 2. Now all the columns to the right of T, we are going to hide these columns. What happens because of hiding the columns after your working area is that you easily navigate throughout the template and your working area. Now I'm going to leave about 70 rows for my calculation and again hide the rest of the rows. And now you can note that using Ctrl and the arrow keys, I can easily navigate across my work area. Now let's also add the colors to define the borders of our working area, and within this, let's define the heading with a blue color in the background and white color for font. Now, what I'm also going to do is, I'm going to have my historicals in these columns here and forecasts in these columns here. So I've got 10 years of forecasts and 3 years of historicals. So I am going to have again a slightly different format for historicals to segregate them from the forecasts. I'm using Ctrl D and Ctrl R very frequently because they allow me to quickly fill the formats to down and to right. Now you can note that we had to visualize this so that we could quickly create all of this. You can note that we are going to put historicals in these 3 columns, column G, H and I, and we are going to put forecasts in all of these columns on the right hand side, that is column J to column S. The reason for keeping 4 columns in the beginning with a small column width is that I can now put headings in column B, subheadings in column C, further level of detail in column D, and maybe my description of a line item in column E. This allows a quick navigation using Control and the down key. I'll show you how. Let's see that in the balance sheet we have this as the line items. So I am pasting it here. Now asset is my major heading and major category of line items. So I am cutting the rest of the information and pasting it here, and cutting the description of line items and pasting it here. Now if I also decide to add the long-term marketable securities, I'll add it here. And now you can note that if I also add liabilities here later on, I'll easily be able to navigate across to main headings with just using the Control and the arrow keys. Let's say I add total of assets here. And total liabilities. Now you can note that I can move across the extremely important categories or headings just by using Control and the arrow keys. Similarly, I can move across the subheadings using Control and the arrow keys. So when we actually put the headings and subheadings in different columns, it just facilitates an ease of navigation. Now let's format all of the area on the right hand side to a number format with a single decimal. So I'm reducing the decimal by 1. And that's the format for our template. The name of our company is Time Machine Watch Company Inc. Let me have a different font size for this. Figures in USD million. And as of now, let's just call it a template. Whenever we are going to add a new calculation to our model, we are going to create a copy of the template sheet. This will allow us to build in a lot of efficiency and consistency throughout our model. Now in the template, let's also add the latest historical year that we have. So we have the information available for the latest historical year, that is 31st December 2013. So let me take it here and let's format the dates here. I'm going to use a date format which is this MMMYY, and once I have done this, I am going to use eDate function to calculate date for the next years. Again, copying the format and pasting the format here only. So I've got my projections ready, and I also need to get my historicals ready. I am now reducing 12 months to use eDate. So now you can note that we have got the template sheet in place. So this is the historical part of our template, and this we are going to follow throughout our calculations hereafter. And this is our projections or forecast part. Instead of merging, I'm using center across selection, and now you can note that this is the template that we have. Let me save this file as tmw model version 1. Saving is the most important aspect, so we have to do that. And with that, let's finish the template.